today using one of the new celebration gifts that's available through August 31st. All right, so this week's projects are focused on this stamp set called Perched in a Tree. It is in the holiday mini catalog, and it is a bundle actually. However, this month, the dies are one of the gift choices through celebration at the $100 level. So you could just purchase the stamp set, get your freebie at $100, and if your order is $100, I'm going to throw in an extra celebration item, and it's going to be a very pretty paper that coordinates with Perched in a Tree as well. So I have pulled some of the dies. We are going to be playing with some of the dies. These are the leftovers that I'm not using in my projects today. So this is the Aspen Trees Die Set. It is, as I said, one of the new celebration picks. That's what we're going to be working with today. Besides the Aspen dies, Stampin' Up! Added the timber embossing folder, the Flowers of Home dies that coordinate with the stamp set. There is a silver foil pack. There's the gingham embossing folder, the dots and spots die, that's a $100 level item. The daffodil dies, also a $100 level item. The seashells 3D embossing folder, it's a $50 item. The Kraft gift boxes, $50. Aspen Tree dies, $100, and the brushed metallic 12 by 12, it's a $50 item. All right, so that is the new choice. Those are the new choices in celebration. One more thing before I get started. I should have done this earlier. If you are a Stampin' Up! Shopper, I am sharing with you the promotion that's going to go into effect on September 1st. Now, right now, demonstrators can purchase these items, but it's going to open up to customers on September 1st. And I want to give you a heads up, because if you are interested in some of these stamp sets, for a limited time, there is going to be a die set that coordinates with these standalone stamp sets. And there's a few that I like. The first one is the Apple Blossoms dies. It's going to coordinate with Apple Harvest. There is going to be bundle pricing. However, if you're like me and you already purchased a stamp set, you can buy the dies on their own as well. And the same is true for the fresh cut stems dies that coordinate with fresh cut flowers. You can purchase the bundle, or you can purchase just the dies. Here is my favorite, the Playful Piggy dies that coordinate with this birthday piggy. Now, I already purchased the stamp set. I've already been playing with this stamp set. So I was so excited when Stampin' Up! Shared the Playful Piggy dies. There are dies to cut, outline cut the piggies, and so much more. I'm really excited about those dies. Tree trimming dies to coordinate with the Trimming the Tree stamp set. This, I believe, is in the annual catalog. Also dies for Waterfall Canyon and Yeti to Party. So plan your purchases. That way you can hold off. If you were interested in any of those stamp sets, you're going to be able to get the dies. Who doesn't love the dies that go with the stamp sets? Raise your hand if you don't love the dies, because otherwise your option is going to be to fussy cut, right? Yes. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to share with you, I think I'm ready to share my first project. And again, it's going to be based on this stamp set, this bundle actually, Perched in a Tree. It's from the mini catalog. And I'm using the stamp set and the dies on my projects today. I hope you're going to like them. I'm going to share with you the first project. Is a note card size. This is a Christmas card. It's a very easy Christmas card, and it's using my favorite technique. Did you figure out what my favorite technique is? Did you post it down below? Have you figured it out yet? All right, so this is the first card we're making, and what is special about this card is that it is using the Kraft note cards in the main catalog. You get 20 cards, 20 envelopes, and a gift box for unbelievably $10. So you're going to be able to make 20 cards, 20 envelopes. Oh, Pam guessed it. It is embossing, heat embossing to be specific, Pam. I just think it's magical. It was one of the first techniques that I saw when I started to learn card making, and it still just thrills me. I think it's just amazing the way you can apply heat and the whole thing melts and you get that texture, you get just a beautiful finish, and it just makes me pretty excited when I do it, when I see it. So embossing is the technique we're using lots today. And as I said, I'm going to be using the Kraft note cards. And did you spy this pretty snowflake frame? This comes from one of the bundles in the Holiday Mini called Snowman Magic. We have a frame in this bundle. So if you're looking to spend your $100 to get your free Aspen Tree Die Set, that would be one of the things I put on my order. So I'm going to need a Kraft card. I'm also going to need a small snippet of Kraft paper, and this also is in the main catalog. You can buy a 6x6 pack of the Kraft paper. We're going to be embossing on that. I need a piece of basic white that measures 3 1/4 by 4 3/4. So let's see, we're going to start off with our stamping. Let's do that first. We're going to have some die cutting to do as well. So let's start off with our stamping. Now here's another thing you might need in your craft stash. The embossing kit, which is in the mini catalog, includes the Embossing Buddy, and you need this when you are embossing to keep the static down and keep the extra flecks of embossing powder away so that you don't get a muddy image. I'm going to be using the Versamark pad. Mine's pretty messy. It has had lots of use, lots of colors mistakenly dipped in it. And I'm using that cute bird from the Perched in a Tree stamp set. And here we go. I'm going to just ink up. Just like so, pretty easy. And this is red rubber, so I don't need my piercing mat down below. I'm going to ink up, press down firmly, and I'm going to go ahead and add my embossing powder. So this is one of the basic sets. This is going to be the white embossing powder. And I like to keep mine in the container because I can go ahead and use my embossing powder and then just sprinkle it over the image and let the excess fall right into the container. So easy. There we go. And now you can actually see it, but I have more stamping and embossing to do. So I'm going to put that aside for a second before I bring out my heat gun. I'm going to go ahead and fold my Kraft note card in half. Let's see if I can slip that out of the way. I'm going to use my essential tool, my bone folder. And I'm going to be stamping my sentiment. And the sentiment comes from Perched in a Tree. It says, wishing you abundant joy and peace. And so I've already mounted my stamp, and it's on one of the acrylic blocks. This is block H, which you'll need. And if you're a beginner, please know that your stamp set arrives unassembled. So you're gonna have to stick the labels on there. And soon I'm gonna do a video on how I like to stick my label on. I think everyone does it a little bit differently. I like my system, and I thought I need to share that because I do have a couple of newbie stampers who might not know how to get that done. So I'm just inking up, and I know that I want my sentiment to be about 1 inch from the top of the card and pretty much centered. So I'm going to bring that in and press down. And let's see, I am going to go ahead and add my powder. You can't see it too well, and I don't want to interfere with it as I do my other stamping. So I can just shake it off. The other thing I like to do, if I do have excess powder on there, I like to get my little brush, and this is actually included in the embossing kit that is in the mini catalog. So you have a little brush to move away the extra flecks of embossing powder. Really helpful. Now I have one more thing I need to stamp on here. I'm trying to be really careful not to interfere with any of that powder. There is also a little branch. That's what the bird is going to be perched on. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up, Versamark again, same way. And I'm just going to stamp that going across. And I want it about 3/4 of an inch down maybe, and just all the way across. So there's one of the branches, and then again I need my powder. Bring that in. That way I'm going to have to do only one batch of heat embossing. And I think that looks pretty good. Let me see. There are a few extra flecks. Now most of the time a fleck here and there is not critical. Depends on what kind of stamper you are, what kind of crafter you are. I don't mind a little bit scattered about, especially on this one because it's kind of like a snowy scene, so extra flecks might be okay, right? All right, I'm going to set that aside for now. I'm going to go ahead and cap my Versamark, and before I start heating things up, let's see, oops, I'm already getting things mixed up here. I am going to, let's see, scrub my birdie, clean that off with my chamois. I know my chamois looks atrocious. That's okay. I assure you it's clean, it's just stained. And I'm going to put the birdie back because I am going to need it for another project. So let's take it away. I'm going to take out my heat tool, which is one of the other things you need when you are doing the heat emboss technique. It's a heat gun and it gets a lot hotter than a hair blower, so make sure that you have your fingers out of the way. I'm going to start off with my birdie, and I'm doing it, sometimes I like to do it from down below so I can actually see the image melting. You will know you're done when the entire image is shiny. If you see dull spots, it means that the powder hasn't melted yet, so you need to continue to heat it. And like anything else, it takes a couple seconds to heat up, so you're going to see the magic happen after a few seconds. There we go. My birdie kind of looks like he lost a toe, but you know me, I'm going to go with it. I think it's going to be okay. Okay, so he is done. Put that aside, and I'm going to bring in my note card with my sentiment and my branch. And since the gun has already heated, it won't take too long. And I hope it's not too noisy for you on camera there. I'm going to flip this around. By the way, I do have a little tool to hold my cardstock. I just don't have it accessible. Almost done. All right, we are done. There's a little bit of melty there. We're done. I'm going to put that aside. And I've got my note card. I've got my project here. Let's see if I can move that out of the way. I need to do some die cutting, and today I happen to have the big bossy stamp and cut and emboss machine because I'm going to be needing the extra wide platform for the next project. So this is standard sandwich. This is the larger stamp, cut, and emboss machine, Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I've got platform 1, platform 2, sorry, and then I'm going to put down number 3 cutting pad. Whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to bump you around. And I need that, and I need my dies. The first one comes from the Perched in a Tree bundle. Let's see if I can get these out. And let's see, I've got my birdie here, and I've also got some washi tape because I'm going to try and control that die so it doesn't move, because washi tape might be a little bit too tacky. I'm going to put it on my skin to release some of the tackiness, and then I'm going to go ahead and place my die right on my image. Right there. There we go. And that way the die shouldn't move around as I cut. Now I need another standard cutting plate right on top. I'm going to crank that through. There we go. And here's my first bird. And I think I'm going to need this die again in just a few minutes. There is my birdie. He's pretty cute. I like him embossed in white. It means I don't have to color. And he still looks just adorable. The next thing I'm going to emboss, or sorry, cut, is that piece of basic white. And I'm going to be using my die from the Snowman Magic die set. And this one's going to have just a tiny border on all sides. So let's see if I can grab that. Oops, I already threw it away, it looks like. Well, where did I toss my washi tape? Right here. It's present. Okay, so here we go. And I'm just going to put this down so that my frame doesn't shift. I want to have as much of an equal frame on all sides as I can. And I'm going to crank that through. All right, so here is my die. I'm going to use my tool, one of my essential tools. This is my Take Your Pick tool. I have the brush attachment on here to just kick out those extra pieces from the die, and just be gentle with it because you've got little snowflakes. So sweet. I love this frame. It's my, I have to admit, it's my favorite part of the die set. In fact, it's why I bought that bundle. Okay, so next I'm going to bring back my note card. And this is going to get adhered right onto the card. And I'm going to put down my silicone mat, flip that over. I'm going to use my favorite Tombow liquid glue. And I just want to have a tiny trail. I don't want to have too much because I don't want it oozing out from the sides, but I want it to stick. And right through there. So just the tiniest little trail. Oh, I see a couple extra pieces in there that I didn't brush out. Let's see if I can kick it out now. There we go. And next this gets adhered. And I'm going to have a small border on all sides. There we go. Love this die. So sweet. And almost done. This is one of the easy cards because that embossing technique is the star of the card. The next thing I'm going to do is attach my birdie, and I'm gonna flip him over. I can use different sizes of dimensionals. I want to be generous so that he's supported nicely. Right through there. And I'm going to see if I can attach one little tiny mini right on his little foot and down towards the tail. There we go. And so I just need to reveal those. Okay, I'm going to take this mat away. I'm going to bring in my bone folder and fold that down. I think I already did this, right? That kind of just burnishes it on there. Flip it over, add my birdie, and just like so. And there is my first card. Now, if you prefer, you could put a small piece of basic white on the inside to write, stamp or write a message. But there you go. I don't know what you think. I like the white in the Kraft. I think it's nice contrast. And it's not a lot of work, a little die cutting, a little embossing, and there's the cute note card. Wishing you abundant joy and peace. I think that would be a really sweet Christmas greeting. Make up multiples. One last thing, right? See that little birdie's eye looks a little bit awkward, so I'm going to bring in my finishing touch, my rustic metallic adhesive back dots, and I'm going to go for the smaller one using my take your pick tool and put it right on his eye, and there you go. I think it's a sweet card. What do you think? I really am overjoyed with that frame. I think it's really sweet. All right, so there is my first Kraft note card, and we're going to move on to the next. Let me take a quick break. And I'm going to ask thank you, Barbara, who has started on their Christmas cards? Have you planned? Or have you actually started crafting? Because you know, December 25 comes faster than you know, and if you want to get your handcrafted cards accomplished, you want to get it done before the holiday rush. That's always been my theory anyway. Because once October and November hit, we have too many holidays and too many fun things coming up that we might have good intentions, but sometimes they don't get done. Oh, thank you, Barb, Pam, Corinne. Thank you so much. Okay, so here is my next card. I'm going to stick with that Kraft note card. And this is a pretty easy card. We're going to do some coloring, some watercoloring. So, oh my gosh, Marie says she has made 30 Christmas cards already. I would say you're going to take the prize, Marie, but who knows? Maybe there's somebody that's done more. I know I haven't gotten 30 done yet. I have kind of a spattering across the board, different designs, but probably less than 10. Okay, so my next card, your kindness warms my heart. What a great sentiment, right? I think that is something we need to send out to friends often, friends and family. And it's an easy note card, which means you can write straight onto this card, put 2 to 3 sentences on it, and that card would make somebody's day. I know it would make my day. All right, so here's what I'm using. I'm using my Kraft note card, and I am using the Rings of Love Designer Series paper that is part of the celebration offering. And that's the reason why if you place a $100 order, if you want to go ahead and get the dies for Perched in a Tree, if you want to get the Aspen Tree dies, I will gift you the coordinating paper so that you could make cards like we're making today. All right, Marie says she needs to make 40 more. Well, you have loads of time, my friend, so enjoy, especially now while it's hot. It's too hot really to go out and do other fun things, so might as well get your crafts done inside. All right, so next I'm going to start off by folding my card, and I just want to mention a lot. I get asked this a lot, which way do you fold? So when the card is scored, you're going to have a side that has the score indented, and you're going to have a side where the score is bumped. You want the bump on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that over. And I am going to go ahead and burnish that down. I have snipped my paper, my DSP. This measures 3 1/4 by 4 1/2, and then I cut them into 1 1/2 inch strips. Now let's see if I can figure this out, because I do want them. There we go. I think it goes this way. I do want them in sequence because you can actually see the birdies that way. So we're just going to separate them. And what it does is break up the busy background. So we're going to have a little bit of craft in between. And we can do a quick adhesive. Let's see if this will work. If I have it handy, I do. I have my Stampin' Seal. And hopefully my Stampin' Seal is going to be cooperative today. So here we go. I'm going to just apply maybe 2 tracks of seal. You could use the Tombow as well. And what I like to do is start off on one side, and I'm going to have about 1/8 of an inch border top and bottom and to the left. And then I'm going to start with, or go on to the right side, and I'm going to have a 1/8 inch border to the top and right and bottom. And then finally I'll put in the center one, and I'll just put it right in the middle so I have an equal distance on both the left and right side. There we go. This is an easy card mostly. We're going to get to one part that's a little bit more time consuming, but still easy. Right, I'm going to stamp my sentiment, "Your kindness warms my heart," and I'm going to stamp in soft suede, really pretty brown. It is the brown that's in the paper. And let's see if I have the right stamp. And same block. This is block H. You could use blocks that are larger, but they're a little bit awkward to manage if they're not quite the right size. All right, so I am going to center this vertically and push it to the right. Hopefully I'm straight. And I'm going to press down firmly, hoping I didn't check the edge of the, I think I'm going to try it again. Well, it's going up slightly at the right. Mostly that wouldn't bother me, but I've got 2 sides right. Give it a shot. And let's see if I need to come down just a little tiny bit. And we'll have a choice. The better of the 2. And I think this is the better one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Mostly because I might lose it if I don't. So if you've been with me before, you've seen me go crazy looking for things that are right in front of me, and I don't want that to happen. So this gets flat adhered. So I'm going to use, my Tombow is already open. I'm just going to put a couple of trails of liquid glue, and it's pretty much centered there on the card front, just like so. Okay, so far the card, is just flat. I'm gonna flip that over and adhere. All right, so now all we need is the star of the card, which is that cute little birdie. We are going to stamp and color. So this is where it's going to take a little bit of time, not too much time. I'm going to start off with my paper. Now I am using shimmery white because we are going to be watercoloring, and the shimmery white has a nice coating on it, so it's not going to oversaturate. And I do need to stamp it with a particular kind of ink. I'm using black ink, but this is the jet black StazOn because it's a permanent ink, and I'm going to be applying water. So we want the ink to stay nice and fresh. We don't want it muddy, in other words. And the StazOn is the perfect choice. I'm going to ink up right like so. Flip that over, and hopefully, oh, there we go. I'm gonna have to, oh, there, okay. Yikes. Had me in a panic. I thought my paper was gonna be too small, but I just have to rotate the bird, right? Okay. I'm pressing firmly because I want a nice impression. There we go. And here's the thing with StazOn. It is a permanent ink, so you need a special cleaner for it. It is called StazOn Cleaner. This little container here, and what I do is I rub it directly onto the red rubber, and this is going to take the ink off and clean it. And I'm just going to bring in a little paper towel and clean that off. So you can see mostly it's getting the ink off there, so it's not going to stain with that cleaner. And what I like to do next, if it's handy, I'm going to go ahead and get my chamois and wipe it next with the chamois, which is damp already, so I can get that cleaner off. And again, so if you're using StazOn, you need the special cleaner. You could add that to your order if you're needing to watercolor, because remember, you want to get to 100 to get your free dies and the bonus paper from me. So, all right, so here we go. Now we have our cute little birdie. I'm going to watercolor, and I'm going to bring in my colors. This little birdie is going to be Night of Navy and Crushed Curry, and I'm using one of my painters, and this I believe is the smaller one. And I'm going to start off coloring with my lighter color, which is Crushed Curry. And the way I get my supply of ink, I just press firmly. So I'm pushing on the ink pad, and what it's doing is bringing that spongy ink pad up to the lid. So you can see what happened here. I have a supply of ink there. And what I'm going to do, my painter has water, has a little reservoir with water, and I'm just going to add some drops here onto my supply of ink and create my palette. So this is fairly easy, and it's fairly quick, and I'm going to do just the lower portion of his body. And what you want to do when you're watercoloring is don't apply too much water at once. So there's shimmery paper is best. It's better than the basic white. This will take the water, and you can see right now it's pretty faint, which is okay depending on how you want to watercolor. But I know I'm going to want a little bit deeper color in here. And let's see, I'm going to bring him in here. But I'm going to do it in layers because it's much better to go a little at a time as opposed to oversaturating. So pretty easy, right? Okay, so there's a little bit of yellow. I think I'm going to get some more water in my palette. It does not take long for StazOn to dry. No. Margaret's asking the question, does it take long? It does not. It's pretty fast drying. And if you're in a hurry, you can always just blow a little bit of air from the heat gun, but it will dry fairly fast, and you can get to your watercoloring quickly. So I wouldn't use the StazOn when you're using your Stampin' Blends because those also are alcohol based. So you want the opposite. That's why we use the Memento with the blends. Okay, so what I'm doing is bringing in more color You can see it kind of darkening up already. And I go in short strokes. I am by no means an artist or a watercolorer. Shout out to my friend Leslie Watkins, who does an amazing job watercoloring. And I've taken some lessons from her, but I have a lot more to learn. So I'm still happy with it. It makes me happy to watercolor, even though it's not amazing. Okay, so I am going to clean my brush, and I'm just going to drop a little bit of water on here, wipe off, and so you can see it's mostly wiping clear, means it's clean. And I'm going to bring in my blue, and I'm doing the same thing I did with the Cajun Craze, and I'm going to watercolor the birdie again at the upper body, and I'm bringing in some water, and I'm starting from the feathery area, or the tail I should say. It has more detail on that stamped image. And so I'm just going in small strokes, working around the bird. And I will go back and add more color around the outline. Right now I'm just trying to lay down my color. And I'm doing a clear, a very light, dry. It's not dry, but it's not saturated, because you don't want it, again, to get too wet. And you don't want to mix too much of the blue and the yellow, because that would give you a new color, right? You want to keep it, at least I want to keep it where it's distinctively blue and yellow. So that's my birdie. I don't know if he's supposed to be a special kind of bird. He's a little chubby bird, I think. There we go. And I'm just bringing in, again, if I want it darker, I'm just going to add another layer of color. And I'm trying to stay away from the eye. I don't want too much going on around the eye. I do want to clear it up. There we go. And I'm pretty happy almost. Like I said, I'm going to put a little bit darker outline. Bringing that in. And I don't know if you can hear the clickety clack. There are nails, paw nails from my hounds going on because they think it's walk time. My hounds get 2 walks a day. And right now they're adjusting to a new schedule. All right, so a little bit darker. These painters, the water painters, come in a set of 3, and I wish I could remember the price on them. I think they're a really good deal. The 3 for, I want to say $18, and they will last you a long time. They are different styles. One is quite wide, and then there's a medium tip one, and then a detail tip. And you could either squeeze it and get the water out of the reservoir, or you could dip it in a little supply of water. And one more thing, I'm going to give him dark blue feet. And I'm just going to take the smallest, there, just like so. All right, there you go. What do you think? I think he's pretty cute. I could try to blend in a little bit more around this, I don't know what you call it, the scruff maybe. But again, I need to be really careful because I could easily create that new color, green, and I don't want to do that. Now I do want to do his beak, so I need my my crushed curry. Did I call it Cajun Craze earlier? I need my crushed curry. Just the tiniest little detail on his beak. There we go. And we are done with the bird. Thank you, Corinne. It's cute. And it takes just a few minutes, and really, as you can see, right now this is the longest step in this cute card. I'm going to come back in and I'm going to do my die cutting. Same way I did earlier. So I've got the big guns out today. It's a little bit heavier, but there's a reason for it. Okay, so again, same sandwich, platform 1, the shimmy, which is 2, or the shim, which is 2, a cutting pad, 3, my paper, my die, and drafts. Oh, here it is. I haven't lost anything. Oh, Pam says the water painters are $13 for all 3. Okay, so that is a good price, I think. I do like them. I know you could use other kinds of watercolor brushes. These are really nice. You have your variety at the ready. All right, here we go. There's my die. Thank you, Pam. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the cute little bird. And again, he was stamped and colored on the shimmery white paper. That's what you want to use when you are watercoloring. And let's see, I'm gonna get this out of the way. And I'm gonna go ahead and release the bird. And I'm going to bring in my sample card. That is going to be adhered with dimensionals. Oops, sorry about that. Marie's going to get but are you getting this bundle, Marie? I think I had my eye on it since the first view of the catalog, and I waited a little bit. I'm glad I got it because I think it's really cute. Love the bird, and I think he could be for all seasons, right? He's not necessarily just a Christmas bird, although you could make the Christmas cards with him. I think he's a sweet bird, especially with this sentiment. Oh, now what I want to do, I shouldn't have done that right so low. Whoops, that was a wasted dimensional. I do not want to put it too low because I am going to be slipping in an embellishment. I'll share it with you in just a second. Let me go ahead and add my birdie right in here. And I'm going to bring him right up into the sentiment. And right now he needs something to perch on, right? So what I'm bringing in, so Marie says she ordered and will get the dies free with celebration. I think it's a good deal because you're just paying for the stamp set and you can get the other supplies and materials that you might need. Now these are called Textual Elements. They are these sweet little wood pieces. There's a little branch with berries of some sort, and that's what my birdie is going to be perched on. And the way I'm going to adhere it is I'm going to flip it over and put the Tombow liquid glue on the berries. So let's see if I can get this set up. And let's see, I'm going to put just a little dot, not a lot. And I'm going to use my tweezers to hold on to this little branch and slip it where it needs to go, right in here. And I have to be careful because the branch has glue on it already, right like so. I think it's working. There we go. And okay, so that's going to be adhered down. Now his foot is right now loose, so what I'm going to do is bring in a mini glue dot, and I'm going to use my take your pick tool, get a dot, and come back in, lift his little foot, and put a mini glue dot right underneath so he is secure. And there is my second card with Perched on a Branch, Perched in a Tree. Let me get the name straight, right? And you know, I can tell the difference already in the watercoloring. He's got a lighter yellow, lighter wash, a little bit darker. I think I like them both. And I think this does not need to be a holiday card. It is just a friendly card to reach out to friends who need a greeting once in a while. Thank you, Pam. I think I really like the simplicity of it. So there is my card number 2. It's another note card. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. And I have mentioned that there's a reason that I need my large cut and emboss machine. So let me share with you why. My final card is going to be a little bit larger. I'm going to get set up for it, and let's see if I can move some things out of the way here. There. I can see I'm already getting things mixed up. Okay, let me do this. And I'll show you card number 3, which is a standard size card. This is not a note card, and it is on white. And so here's what I've done. This is the die. It is huge. It's part of the set. You are going to be cutting the trees. And you need a larger piece of paper. This would not fit on the note card side. It's that big. So my card is on white, and I want you to see what I've done. I've seen lots of examples where the birdie is on this side or in front of the trees. This one, you are looking in the forest through the trees. You've got your little birdie going on. You have the, let's see, distressed gold, I think it's called, paper. This is another die I cut from the coordinating dies. This sentiment says, no matter the season, I am here for you. So we've got a different kind of bird going on. And I'm going to share with you how I made this card. The important thing is this one has the die above the bird. So there you go. And we are going to need to die cut that. So here's what we do. Here's what I'm using. I am starting with a basic white card base. I've already pre-scored it. I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish that. Let's see, here is my bone folder. It's standard card size so far, right? So just fold on the score line. There's my card base. I have another piece of Designer Series paper that comes from the Ring of Love Designer Series paper stack, the free celebration item. This is just the stack of trees. On the flip side, you have poinsettias. So both sides are pretty. I'm glad that I have plenty of this paper because I will also want to use the poinsettias, but not today. Today, I'm going to use the tree side. I am going to go ahead and adhere this flat onto the card base. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal. So far, my seal has been cooperating. I think I finally learned how to use it, and I don't want to jinx myself, but I've been pretty successful lately. Now, there is an orientation to this paper, so be careful before you adhere it. You need to have the tree standing up. We're going to have an equal border all the way around. So far, this layer measures 4 by 5 1/4. I also have a basic white that measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. This is the layer that we're going to cut. I'm also going to die cut those sweet little flower leaves. This is what's going to give you the pop on the card itself. And let's see if I've got my things together here. I've already lost that die. How does that happen? let's see. I'm gonna have to clear my area. I had it just a second ago. Here it is, I found it. I can cancel that 911 call. Okay, so I've got my basic white and my distressed gold. I hope I'm calling it the right thing. The gold comes from the main catalog, and I think it's pretty cool because it's not a flashy gold. It's got that distressing look to it, or distressed look. All right, so, okay, so let me get my die machine one more time. And this is the reason why we need the big guns today, because of the size of the paper. I'm not sure that this die would go through the mini, actually. So I'm gonna center that on my paper. And I need the same sandwich. Platform 1, shim 2, cutting pad 3, paper, die, cutting pad. And this one's not really critical, so I'm okay with not using the washi tape. I'm going to crank it through. There we go. I'm going to put that aside for just a second. I'm going to do one more die cut. And so I need my gold and my little leaf cut, or leaf end. I think they're leaves. I don't think they're flowers, but we'll see. Oops, it almost slid. There we go. Fairly easy. And again, I'm going to bring my brush in to knock out those pieces. And be gentle with that. And then also on the larger die. And I'm going to do the same. And so when you buy the brush, you also get the sponge for underneath. And then I usually use the piercing tool to knock out any stubborn pieces that didn't come out with the little brush. There we go. All right, so I've got my die. Got that ready to go. The next thing I need to do is stamp and heat emboss one more time. So this is soft suede, and right now it measures about 4 1/4 by about 2 inches. We're going to be cutting it down to 1 inch. Again, I'm going to be doing heat embossing, so I'm going to use my Buddy. I need my Versamark. And I need my stamp. Let's see where that is. This one says, no matter the season, I'm here for you. And again, it is on a block H. I'm gonna ink up with Versamark. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp down. Press firmly so that I make sure I've got my image down. All right, so next I need my powder. And I've got my little spoon. And it looks pretty decent. I'm gonna go ahead and heat up. And excuse the noise. Right through here. Now, ideally, you want to keep the heat moving so that it doesn't burn the paper. So I think it looks pretty nice. I'm going to trim it down. I've got my little mini chopper in here, and I do want it to be about 1 inch wide. So let's see if this will do it for me. You know what, I might need to trim just a smidge off the top. And now I can make sure I get all the descenders in below. I like the grid paper on the trimmer, so I can make sure I've got a nice straight. There we go. And what I'm going to do is apply this. I'm going to add this to my tree front. Whoops, I've got a little bit of powder on my desktop. Let me wipe down. There we go. All right, so this is going to be adhered right to the front right here. But let me bring in this. This is going to get layered, and it's going to get layered on with dimensionals. But I have pre-stamped and pre-colored my birdie. This one is Night of Navy and Real Red. So he's going to have a nice pop of color, really festive with that red. And I want to see where he needs to be here so that he can peek through. And that's pretty good right there, I think. I might want to push him over just the tiniest bit. And ideally, he's going to have his foot right there between Matter and the Season. So that's what I'm shooting for. Let's see if we can make that happen. So what I'm going to do, I had my pencil earlier, but I have a feeling it has disappeared the way things do on my tabletop. Let's see. I'm just going to add a little tiny dot of glue across. I'm just checking to make sure you can still see what I'm doing. All right, so then, and what I love about my Tombow is it's very forgiving. I can push it around, and let's see. I think I like him right there. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. And there's a reason I didn't mount it yet, because now I'm going to snip off the edges, both sides. I can go ahead and put my birdie down. He is going to be flat adhered. I want him a little bit lower right there. All right, so let's see if I can bring him down. He's going to be right in here, and I'm going to do it this way. He's going to be in position. I'm going to put the glue right behind, secure him down, and I'm not going to put adhesive behind his foot because I'm hoping that his foot can cross over onto the greeting. There we go. And that's going to be flat adhered. And my die cut with the trees that we're looking through the forest, it's going to be raised with dimensionals. So I'm going to bring in my full-size dimensionals, and I'm going to be generous because this is a larger piece, and it's going to go across the entire card front, right in here. All right, so, and let's see if I can put a couple of minis on here as well. Right there and there. Okay, so, and let me put some, see what I mean? I really want to make sure this is secured on here. You could go overboard and put it on the trees as well, but I think it's going to be good. Oh, thank you, Carol. She says it's beautiful. I think it's, you know, that little bird, you can do him in different colors, different techniques. You could also color him with watercolor pencils or with the pastels, or you don't have to color him at all, or you can emboss him. You saw what I did with the embossing. Okay, so now I'm going to bring him in, bring this on, and I'm looking for that foot, right like so. Now I'm hoping I can flick his little foot above. my take your pick tool. There we go. See how I brought it? Now, it's just the little details, right? I just like the foot on that side. Now, I'm not finished yet. I'm going to bring in that little gold element because we need a pop. There's a pop of red, but I want that gold to make it really festive. And I think I'm going to go with this orientation. So there's one that has like brushes up here, or a branch up here. So that's going to slip right behind my sentiment. And I'm trying, there we go. See how I'm trying to also bring it forward as well. Now I'm going to attach that with mini glue dots. And hopefully they are within reach here. Haven't lost them yet. Hey, actually I haven't lost anything today yet. How's that? It's a good day, right? Okay, so let's see. Right behind here, secure that down. And take a second and bring it back. Let's see if I can put a little tiny piece in here just to secure it down. And let's see, we don't want it bending when we put it in the envelope, so I'm going to bring another piece, and I've kind of folded that glue dot so that it's not sticking out, or it's not exposed, I should say. There we go. All right, so there is my final card. No matter the season, I'm here for you. This one's a full-size card. And I'm not done yet. I still have lots to show you. Okay, so there's my full-size card. There is my stamped card and my embossed card. Let's see, right there. And I promised, here's what I'm going to share with you. These Kraft note cards come in a kit. Let's see if I have them handy here. I do. They come in a kit. You get 10 and you get the box. And let's see. The box, now maybe I just threw them away. Thank you, Margaret. She says she loved all the cards. Maybe I threw the directions away. I don't think so. No directions were found in the box by me. So I'm going to assemble one of these boxes for you. And the cool thing is that no adhesive is needed. I have seen others instruct on how to assemble these, and they actually used adhesive. I'm going to show you the way I did it. I don't think you need it. If you want to add it as reinforcement, you can, but I don't think it's necessary. So let me clear my table here, and I'm going to start off. This box comes in two pieces. We have a lid and we have the base. So let me start with the base. And what I'm going to do, first of all, let me get some of these things out of the way. What I'm going to do is start off by folding and burnishing on all the score lines. And that pretty much is what's going to help you get this box together. Notice how this little 1/2 inch tab, I'm going to flip the opposite way. And the same on the other side, flips the opposite way. So folding and burnishing is what's going to put this box together. It'll make sense. Right now it's a little bit confusing, but once it's folded, it pretty much just falls right into place. But it looks intimidating, I'm not going to lie. It looks intimidating when you first open it. So, again, take care of this. And it's just going to be easy peasy. There, and then one. There we go. All right, so let me keep going. Hang on. I'm going to take a little sip here. All right, so let's keep going. Now you can kind of see it's pretty much coming into place on its own. I am going to start with the sides here. Bring up the sides, fold down the front here, this as well. So let's see, right through here. This comes this way. See what I mean? It's almost like no words are necessary because it just kind of falls into place. Now we have those two tabs. I don't know if you can still see them right in here. There's a little tab in there that you're going to push right into place, and there's your box. Now how cool is that? No adhesive needed. And I'm going to go ahead and just fold and burnish in place again. It comes together so nice. There we go. There is the base. Then I have the lid, and again, what's critical is that you fold and burnish on all the scores. It's already scored for you. And this is a nice sturdy Kraft paper. I think it's heavier than the note cards actually. And stick with me because I'm going to share with you what I did with this box. I'm so excited about it, and it's something that is going to be shared with my team tomorrow as well. So let me just go ahead and say right now there is an offer to join Stampin' Up. The starter kit is always the best deal. So you get $125 of your choice of products. You're going to pay just $99 plus tax. There is no shipping. You get that for free. You get your $125 worth of product, and right now during celebration you get a beautiful planner and the notebooks to get your life organized. And it is all an offer to join Stampin' Up. There are lots of perks to joining. You do not need to sell. You do not need to be a demonstrator. You can join just to get your discount. And there's lots of perks besides the discount as well. And I will say as well that if you join my team, there's also lots of perks for joining my team. One is that we do meet once a month for our team time. And we do stamping, we do sharing, we do swapping, we do prizes and recognition. And it's a really fun team. A very supportive team. We have our own Facebook page. And I'm going to invite you to join. If you're interested, reach out to me. I'll give you more information. This is an example of what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So if you're on my team and you're watching and you don't want the spoiler, look away when I share with you. This is the lid. So Carol says this is their first time seeing the box. And I'm glad, because I think for me it was a wow. This is a nice little box. You can store your note cards inside the box. You could gift the entire little box set, because remember, this is only $10 for the complete set. The box, the 10 note cards, the 10 envelopes, $10. So here's what I've done. Tomorrow during our team time, we are going to be creating this little set of cards. Not everyone's going to get to make the box because there's only one box in the note card set. But here's what I did with the box. Tomorrow's class centers around the Wonderful World Celebration Bundle. So I decorated my box. I used some of those hand snip flowers and that distressed gold on the outside, and the coordinating stamp set to my Wonderful World is the go-to greetings. I used the thinking of you, and I embossed that sentiment with gold. So I think it looks stunning. This looks very casual. This to me looks really elegant with the gold, right? So when I open up, here is my gift set that I created. And this is what my team is making tomorrow. So there's another perk of being part of the team. You do get the make and take at the team meeting. So here's a pretty thank you card. I embossed, again in gold. I used that distressed gold, and the Wonderful World paper. There's my thank you note card. Same stamp set, same paper. Here is another thank you card, and I did a different layout. I used one of those beautiful stamped images and my go-to greeting, and I used the embellishments here. These are the in color embellishments for 2022. And I added some of the gold ribbon. This is in the mini catalog. So there's my thank you card, another thank you card. Different fonts, which is what I love about that go-to greetings. Then I have a birthday card, because these go-to greetings are the most used greetings that you need, the must-have greetings. Happy birthday. This time I've just stamped one of the floral images. I used my DSP in the back, and I used my decal die cuts. By the way, that's how I got these as well. So I coordinated the decal die cuts for a happy birthday card, more embellishments, more of that distressed gold. So that's what I did to create that card. And one last card, just a note, another one of those stamped flowers, another font, another greeting that we need, that pretty ribbon, and again, the decal dies to create my fourth card. So this is the make and take for my team meeting tomorrow. That's the August team meeting. My team comes, we are going to be sharing, swapping, and crafting. And it's one of the great things about being part of a Stampin' Up team. I invite you to join my team and earn all the rewards and get all the perks that you can from a great company, a great paper crafting quality company. Then I'm going to put my envelopes right inside, and these are stored right inside. And again, you could store them here. There's a little, there we go. You could store them in the box, or you could gift the box, or you could use the little box for another gift as well. But there you go. There is the Kraft note card set. This is with Wonderful World, and then of course today we used it with the Perched in a Tree stamp set and bundle. You can get the dies free, the Aspen Tree dies for free during celebration through August 31st. That's while supplies last. If you place an order with me this week through Tuesday, you will get, if you place a $100 order with me, you will get the DSP packet. In addition, you could choose your Aspen Trees dies for your $100 purchase. I will throw in the DSP so you could make the cards that I shared with you today. You could also place a $50 order and pick any celebration item you like. It's pretty much up to you. Pick what you like. My recommendation is the stamp set, the Snowman Magic, if you want it, if you're interested in that cute little snowflake frame. That's a bundle as well. So all of this, you must use the host code, and you must submit by August 16th, which is Tuesday. All right, my friends, that is what I'm sharing with you today. I hope that you like the projects. If you have any comments or any questions, I hope that you'll post them down below. If you came in a little bit late, you can always catch the replay here on Facebook, or you can skip over to YouTube. But I hope that you will craft, and I hope you get started on your Christmas cards as well. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a great weekend.